standing right about here. And I looked up about here and I saw originally what I thought was a helicopter flying. Seemed like it had a red strobe on it. And I thought to myself, helicopters and other planes have white strobes and not red. So I kept on watching and thinking about it when I saw there was actually two of them, kind of suddenly. And as I watched the two moving across the sky from approximately this point to here, I looked back and I realized there's a third one. And I looked back and I watched the first one, and I looked back, and then behind the third one I saw a fourth one. And they were like little round balls of light, and they were strobing, yellow and red. Mostly red. It seemed like it was red was the predominant color. As they came across, I watched the four objects move to approximately this point, and just before they reached this tree here, I watched them take a slight dip. It appeared, you know, it's kind of hard to really say, but it looked like it took a little dip and then took a different vector going up this way. And after that, all I perceived was a yellow light going up. I watched it till it faded up into the sky. It just kind of got smaller and disappeared. As I looked back at the tail end, I saw a fifth one coming in. And that's when I ran in and got my camera. They were all following in a straight line, following this trajectory. Got to just before the tree, took off that way. Moved, or whatever you want to say they did. I'm going to show you some pictures that I took that night. Okay, now we're taking you to the images on the camera. These pictures were taken with my Pentax K10 10 megapixel camera, 300mm lens. When I saw them, I had to zoom in all the way. At first I had it on autofocus continuous because I wasn't sure if they were moving. I thought I'd be able to get a focus on them, but the camera kept on focusing in and out, and the snapshots you're about to see are going to be a few second intervals in between. It took the time for the camera to zoom out, back in, out and in, sometimes a couple of times. So they're not really quick. The last few are a little quicker because I turned it to manual focus after I got a good focus on it with automatic. I just shut it down to manual. So I left it at 300mm and I just started snapping as many pictures as I could. So this is the first image that I got, and I'll zoom it in on the camera. We'll show these pictures again later so you get pure light. We're getting a lot of background light off this TV right now. So this is the first one, and I'm zooming in 20 times right there. And as you see, it's got a big red halo around what seems to be a bright object in the center. Now, I'm not seeing any real solid object there, and all I'm seeing is a lot of light. You can make a decision for yourself, but this is a few seconds afterwards. Zoomed in, zoomed out, refocused. I didn't zoom, it just refocused itself. And this is the second image. We'll get it back up to 20 times to see how the size and the shape at 20 times seems to be way different than it was in the previous picture. Just barely fits in this TV here. So on to the next. Now really I twisted it around. And as you see, it totally changed shape in the middle. You don't really see a lot of blurring in one direction or the other, which would indicate some kind of shaking or something that would explain maybe some of the movement. But as I see, the light seems to be evenly distributed throughout the picture. So I questioned it myself at first when I first looked at these pictures. And but that's the conclusion I came to, is that it's not the camera shaking. It has to be whatever this is transforming somehow, changing shape. And then the next one, you see it kind of gets straighter with a little hook on the end. You see these next images are going to be a little bit quicker. Now I'm going to zoom that in 20 times and look how much bigger it is in my viewfinder. It's like totally stretched right out, and it looks brighter on this top here than it does in the center here, but it still has a little brightness on the end. I'm still questioning what this is, you know, what's going on here. I was pretty much in awe when I saw these things. And I realized that it wasn't a helicopter. They had no sound. It was an airplane. I thought it was strobing at first, but what I think was happening, honestly, my honest opinion, is that it was changing positions, and I was getting this effect where it was bright as it rotated towards me, end towards me, or whatever. And the reason I'm saying the end is because this is the previous picture. This is the one I'm showing you. That's the next picture. This seems to be rotated from that. Same shape, it just kind of rotates, spun around. I'm thinking that we're getting almost a straight shot, that it moved from this position to that position and back to this position. You can discern for yourself. Make up your own conclusions. I just like to share this with everybody because I just thought it was pretty unusual, and it really got me. I've been thinking about this for weeks now. That's 20 times, just fitting inside the picture. Seems to be folding over on itself back the other way somehow. It had that little bend up here before, or here. I'm not sure which way it rotated, but seems to be folding there. And the next one, you see why I say that, because I went back and forth over these pictures a bunch of times with Eric, and neither of us are really sure what it is. We had come up with a lot of possible conclusions, but look at this here. I mean, it seemed to have folded over, but I don't know if it's the back part's being blacked out by this, but it seems to be brighter here where it's concentrated in the center. And it seems like this kind of end of it's kind of rotated downwards. This next one, I made it flipped all the way around with the underside of the V going this way. And we're just catching the back underside, or whatever side it could be. I'll zoom that into 20 times. Well, look how much less of the screen that it takes up at 20 times. It does get a little more interesting here, as I recall. It starts morphing a little more. Brightening. You see some other colors start to emerge. A little bit of green I'm noticing here. The red's kind of dissipated up here and down here. There's still a little bit, almost looks orange because the red's kind of faded out, but it's getting a little green along all these edges here. You notice this one, the red, is actually moved off of the rest of this. That's at 20 times also. And the red just seems a little patch here, a slight patch here, a little bit under here and there. But look at all the green coming in here. And these last few pictures were taken in quick succession because I only had on manual focus, so I was able to snap them a little quicker. So maybe about a second between pictures, maybe 2 at the most. You see they seem to begin merging again. This coming into that, but that's grabbing some green down around here. And I'm just totally perplexed at what this might be. And I believe this is the final image. It seems to be separated once again to two separate objects. And again, that's at 20 times. I don't know what anybody can say about this, but if you have any ideas, let us know.